All right, guys. Once again, this is another CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I am your host, Nick Qualia, sitting with Marv Azan and Mike Molyneux. All right, guys. So once again, this past week, we went through the Patriots bye week. 7-3 record. Pretty good. Of course, they lose against the Tennessee Titans. Everybody's freaking out in New England. Everybody's panicking. But there were some positives out of the beginning of the season. Also some negatives. So we're going to go one up, one down. Mike, we'll start with you. What's your one positive? First, you're only just to answer this question. What is your one positive about the Patriots' first 10 games of the season?
Positive. First positive, obviously, hasn't been consistent throughout the first 10 games because of injury, which is unfortunate. But the combination of James White and Sony Michel, we saw a glimpse in a few games of how deadly those two could be in the backfield. Similar to the Saints, two guys who can make it happen in multiple ways. And the Patriots found that, especially, with their wide receivers taking a hit, Gronkowski, trying to work Josh Gordon into the mix. For those stretch of 3-4 games, you consistently got James White and Sony Michel being guys you could depend upon. So that's my positive that I take away from the first 10 games. Obviously, you hope that it continues, but for those first 10 games, those are two guys who have really put their stamp on the New England Patriots offense.
Marv?
I was going to say James White. Mike, you stole my thunder. James White,
Sorry.
Mr. Consistent.
We should talk before the roundtable.
James White is Mr. Consistent, absolutely. But let's talk about Trent Brown, man. This is a guy we did not know what was going to come about. You lose Nate Solder. Left tackle is the most important position. He's come in and he's stabilized that position. The offensive line, in totality, they've been playing pretty well. They've given Brady time to throw the ball. They've given running rooms for James White and Sony Michel that you mentioned, Mike. So I like what I've seen from the offensive line. There's been weeks where they've struggled, but in totality, this past 10 games, they've been playing pretty well. I like what I've seen from Trent Brown specifically.
Yeah, mine is actually Julian Edelman, and it's more so based off of what we expected from him. And there's a lot of people who did think that he was going to have a good season. But, I mean, last year, this is a 33-year-old guy coming off of a torn ACL. He's 33 years old. When you get that kind of injury in your 20s, you have some time to recover. At this age, especially with the way Edelman plays, it wasn't a guarantee that he was going to come back and look fully healthy, look like the full Julian Edelman that we know, that we've watched. But I think he's been that guy this season. He's been reliable. He got a slight ankle injury against Tennessee last week. But from the sounds of it, it's really nothing. It's going to be fine. The fact that he was able to recover from an ACL injury and PD suspension, not going to go there, but I kind of just did. But it doesn't matter because he's here and he's playing. The fact that he's just on the field and being a reliable target for Tom Brady, especially when there's not as many reliable targets as there has been in the past, that is one of the biggest pieces to the beginning of the season that I think is being overlooked. Because again, 33 years old, torn ACL, there was no guarantee that he was going to come back and be the same guy that Tom Brady could look for on third down. Mike, what's your negative on the first 10 games of the season?
People are going to hate me for this. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to be honest and tell the honest truth. Hasn't been consistent throughout 10 games, but we got to speak on it. Tom Brady, he has unfortunately struggled. He's unfortunately struggled. Now, is it all Tom Brady? Hey, man. I'm sorry, but someone's got to speak on it. Is it all Tom Brady? Has Tom Brady fell off the cliff?
Can we stop the broadcast? I can't listen to this.
This is beyond me.
Listen, fellas, somebody got to speak on it, and I will take it upon myself to be the one. Now, like I said, is it all Brady? Does it mean Brady's just falling off the cliff? Does he need to retire at the end of the season? No, I am not saying that. But Tom Brady was the MVP of the league, last year, a year ago? Do you guys think Tom Brady's playing to that same MVP level?
No, he's not.
I think so. He's not. So right there, you can say Tom Brady's play has slipped a little bit. Again, he's no Jameis Winston. He's no Blake Bortles. I'm not putting him in that category. But through these first 10 games, Tom Brady's play has not been up to the MVP level that we've recently seen from him. So that's just the honest truth. With that being said, second half of the season ready to go, I think Tom Brady would be just fine. But, one stat that's out there that people are talking about, he hasn't thrown a touchdown in like 3 games.
No, that's one of the worst. This is This is honestly, to me, one of the worst we've seen of Tom Brady. And yeah, he's 41 years old, but this is the worst that we've seen Tom Brady in a long time. Mike, just to follow up your question there, though, I mean, your answer. Do you think that it's fully on Tom Brady, or is it because of that lack of great targets that he has right now?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. It's not all Tom Brady. I wouldn't say he completely sucks now, but excuse me. Yeah, the lack of targets, trying to get Josh Gordon integrated, Julian Edelman coming back from suspension. You haven't had Rob Gronkowski, who's been one of your top targets over the years. Offensive line, sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. So it's a myriad of things that's happening, but some of it does have to be on Tom Brady and how he's playing. Again, not all of it, but some of it Brady has to take the blame for.
Headline of this video: Mike thinks Tom Brady sucks and always has.
Nope.
I'm gonna get roasted. I'm gonna get roasted. I already know.
At Mike Nice, CLNS _ Mike Nice.
Yeah, let's give out his phone number too. 617. Marv, what's your negative?
I mean, Mike, first of all, just to respond to you, yes, Tom Brady has not been playing up to Tom Brady's standards. And it's shown. Anyone who watches football can see that Brady hasn't been amazing. But, in clutch moments, in fourth quarters, we still seen the Tom Brady that we all love and know. And out of all the negatives on this team, I just feel like we can't talk about Brady yet, because we could talk about the defense. We could talk about what I'm going to do is the tight end position. Okay. The tight end position has been a big negative spot. Gronk, Dwayne Allen, Hollister. Where the hell are any of these guys? I mean, you weren't expecting anything from Dwayne Allen and Hollister, but Rob Gronkowski, when he's been on the field, it's just been blocking mostly. And when he gets targets, he catches the ball and goes down. We haven't seen much explosiveness out of him at all. And his best game was against Kansas City, in my opinion, when he was doing mostly blocking for Sony Michel and James White. That was his best game. It wasn't where he got multiple touchdowns, because he's only had one touchdown this year. And it was during the first game. So that can, that combined with Brady not playing well, Brady doesn't have his red zone target in Gronkowski, that offense has been slipping because of that. So the tight end position, where Patriots usually dominate in, has been huge reason why this offense has been, starting off really slow.
Yeah, and to keep rolling on with the receiving position, we're going to include the tight ends in the receiving position. My negative is the Patriots receivers as a whole, because just because somebody like Rob Gronkowski goes out against the Tennessee Titans doesn't mean that Julian Edelman and Josh Gordon should not be able to get that separation, because that was one of the biggest takeaways of that game against Tennessee last week. There was zero separation. So I think this receiving core has underperformed a little bit. And Josh Gordon, I don't know if he's underperformed because the guy missed so much time, but I think he could be a little bit better. He's made these absolute circus catches, but from what we know of the guy and what he was in Cleveland when he was on the field, I would think he would be a little bit better like that with Tom Brady. And sure, Tom Brady's throws haven't been as accurate as we've seen in years past, but I think he could be a little bit better. So my overall answer is the receiving core, and that might be a lack of Bill Belichick adding on receivers or re-signing targets for Tom Brady over the offseason. I think that is a major, major negative on this first 10 games of the Patriots. So the receiving core underperformed, along with Tom Brady underperforming.
Free Dorsett.
Free Philip Dorsett.
Free Dorsett.
He's not in prison or anything, but he is he's in Tom Brady prison. Actually, also, speaking of Tom Brady prison, is Chris Hogan on the team anymore?
He shouldn't be. Cut him.
He deserves to be in Tom Brady's prison. I'll tell you that much. That's why I say free Dorsett. They got the wrong guy taking all these snaps for no reason.
Real.
It is shocking how bad he is this year. And yeah. I don't even know if he's I just don't know if Tom Brady just doesn't trust him anymore.
And it's crazy to think that, this was a guy who, when other guys went down, Brady would target 8 to 10 times a game and he would produce. And now all of a sudden he's nothing. And it's so shocking. You would think with Edelman and Josh Gordon, he'd be the third guy to get, open looks against third string corners, but he's yet to cause that separation and do anything on the field.
Yeah, because even in years past, when you had that third guy, which was Amendola, he was still getting a couple targets and made big plays here and there. Now, Hogan has technically slipped into that role of like the Amendola of years past, and he's not doing a damn thing with it. So sorry to him.
He's been essentially non-existent. People are forgetting that this guy's even on the team this season.
Oh.
But first 10 games of the year, 1 up, 1 down.